Good afternoon, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the Washington County Board of Commissioners meeting. And thank you for being in attendance today. As we start off our meeting, we'll have an invocation by Tim Martin. It is sure good to see Tim here from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and also Interfaith Council here. After our invocation, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance, who will be led by Ryan Hatch from our Assessor's Office.
Yeah, two events from the St. George Interfaith Council that I will let you be aware of. One was on January 1st, we had prayer over the city in the Tabernacle with the Interfaith Choir singing, and they were great. 17 faith leaders led a prayer, which was pretty cool. Then on January 9th, we had a change of command every 3 years. So our new president is Reverend Buddy Harrington, a Methodist minister. The vice president is vicar from Grace Episcopal, Pastor Rob Willman, who is recently arrived. He came to St. George two years ago and fell in love with the place and said, I'm staying, and he's now our vice president. And as secretary is Larry and Stacy Shirtliff. But the cool part was we had a dinner, 43 people at dinner in my house, and 19 different churches were represented. And at one point, the coolest part was Steve King, who you might know, was heads the communication council for all of Southern Utah, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And he was sitting, chatting and laughing, slapping the table, having such a good time with Shadma Bashir, our Muslim, who was sitting next to Rabbi Mendy Cohen, the very conservative Shabbat Jewish leader. And they were just having a marvelous time. And I thought, that's a great spirit that you all help bring as you support us in the Interfaith Council and Interfaith Choir. So we're alive and well, and 15 years and still going. So we hope that we can continue to serve the county and all the people that are here. Please join me in prayer. Our Father in heaven, we're so thankful this day that we are part of this great community. We're thankful for our commissioners and those who serve with them and support them. We're thankful for their labors that they go through, for their attempts to keep everybody aware of the choices and decisions that have to be made. Father, we're thankful and aware of the great need we have for water. We pray that as the commissioners have requested, that we can plead for this water with thee, that thou might answer our prayers and we might find some water and meet this need that we have. We're thankful for the wonderful land that we live in. We're thankful for the changes and pray that we'll be able to successfully move on as we have a new leadership. We're thankful for those who serve in our county, who serve all of us to make our lives sweeter, and pray a blessing upon them, a blessing upon our county, and a blessing upon those who live here and that might be presenting this day. And these things we ask in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Tim.
The audience, please rise. Following the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. As we begin today's meeting, we always start with our consent agenda. The consent agenda is a means of expediting the consideration of routine matters. If a commissioner requests that items be removed from the consent agenda, those items are placed at the beginning of the regular agenda. Other than requests to remove items, a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda is not debatable.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda as follows. A, consideration of auditor approved claims for payment for January 8th, 2025 through January 21st, 2025. B, consideration of commission meeting minutes of January 7th, 2025. C, consideration of administrative adjustments of real property. D, consideration of administrative adjustments for personal property. E, consideration of public defender contract. F, the consideration of Greater Zion Office application endorsement for AFCI Film Commission membership. G, consideration of change order for the Emergency Operations Center project. And H, consideration of change order for the Boulevard building design. That's my motion.
Second. We have a motion and a second for the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Our first item is a presentation on Pioneer Park Interpretive Trail Award, and we have Shane Moore here from Washington, or from St. George City in Washington County. You're in Washington County. You're from St. George City. So. Shane, it's always good to see you.
So, thanks, commissioners, for having us here today. We really appreciate, the city of St. George really appreciate our partnership with you guys. We've done some incredible things together. The Pioneer Park Interpretive Trail was a project funded by Washington County. We put an application in and you all funded it, and it turned out to be just an incredible amenity at our beautiful Pioneer Park, right underneath our Sugarloaf and our Dixie Rock. If you call it the Dixie Rock, you get in trouble. So Steve Snow will correct you and tell you it's the Sugarloaf. So we were selected by the Utah State Historical Society as an Outstanding Achievement Award winner for this trail. The trail itself, if you haven't been up there lately, is just incredible. People really are enjoying it. We couldn't have done it without you. This award belongs to everybody in Washington County because of you. So thank you so much for your support, and good job.
Good job to you.
Good job to you. I will tell you, I mean, we were excited to support it. You talked to us about it. It's been a couple year project, right?
Yep.
But it turned out, I mean, just really great. If anybody here hasn't been up there and walked it, it's just, it's fantastic. Just everything you've done and the interpretation on it, and yeah, it just turned out great. So fantastic. And it's one of the most visited areas in the county, right?
Right, so it's actually our most popular park, our most visited park. So ironically, you know, we build all these parks and these trails, but the one that just has our views and our nature up there is the one that people just seem to just love to come to, especially from out of the area. So it really dovetails well with what the county's mission of bringing really quality recreation to the area. And so once again, you know, you guys are such great partners, and we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, should we get a picture? Let's get a picture. Do you have any of your other team here, Shane?
Mark Coble here? Yeah. Mark Coble was the landscape architect and project manager of the project.
It's fantastic. The funds used from the county were tourism dollars, TRT, so as people visit and pay that, been able to reinvest it in exciting projects like this. We're now have the pleasure of having a presentation from the Division of Wildlife Resources and Payment in lieu of taxes. Kevin Bundle.
The audience may have noticed a little smirk on Commissioner Iverson's face because of the size of the check that I just delivered to him. It's a whole $174 for payment in lieu of taxes for the property the Division of Wildlife owns in Washington County, which isn't a lot, and that's why the check isn't a lot either, but certainly...
If we change the decimal point or add zeros behind us, does this help us at all?
If you can get it to clear the bank, you know.
Challenge accepted. Ryan?
You know, more than anything, I like coming down to this once a year just to thank the commission and the county for the partnership that we have. We work on a lot of issues together. We work on some tough issues together. We don't always agree, but we always walk away committed to continuing to work together, and I very much appreciate that and hope that that relationship continues well into the future. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. One announcement that I did want to make. We do have a new director for the Division of Wildlife. Jay Shirley, who was our former director, retired the first of the year, and Riley Peck is our new director. And if there's an opportunity for me to get him down here and meet you, meet the commissioners and others in the county, I would love to take advantage of that.
Please
So
do.
if there's a time that you think would work well, let me know. Probably not over the next 44 days
Yeah, 40,
with legislature in session, but after that, as soon as we can, let's get him down here. So, any questions for
Well,
me?
Kevin, I just kind of say what you just barely said, which is, well, it's not a large amount of payment in lieu of taxes. I do actually look forward to you coming down and presenting the check. It's kind of an opportunity for us to, like you said, it's about the relationship and acknowledging the partnerships that we have. So thank you for doing it.
I do appreciate that this year I wasn't following a big budget discussion where, tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars are being discussed, and then I present a check for $174.
That's
So I
That's how we
do
balance the
appreciate
budget,
that.
is off of your $174 though.
But anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
you, Kevin.
Appreciate you.
Travel safe.
Thank you. Our next item on our agenda is a presentation from the Washington County Assessor's Office. Our Assessor, Tom Duran. We have some outstanding assessors in our assessor office.
Last month at Assessor School, 3 appraisers from our office were recognized for the work they've been doing, and I wanted to share that with the commissioners in the county. The first I'd like to recognize is Justin Decker. He's spent the last couple years working on a professional designation. I'm going to read you 2 short paragraphs. The first is the Certified Assessment Evaluator designation through the International Association of Assessing Officers. This CAE designation is the flagship IAAO designation in our industry. Its purpose is to recognize professionalism and competency in a wide range of matters covering property valuation. It denotes the highest level of education and experience in residential and commercial real property appraisal, assessment, administration, and tax policy. I think Justin's the only appraiser working in the ad valorem industry in Utah that holds the CAE designation. Along that journey, it took him a couple of years. He also earned the MAS designation, which is the Mass Appraisal Specialist. Where the Certified Assessment Evaluator has more of a single property focus. The Mass Appraisal Specialist is more mass valuation oriented. And that signifies his professionalism and competency in a wide range of matters, covering mass appraisal theories, techniques, and application. So we want to recognize Justin through the International Association of Assessing Officers, the Assessor School, and the local chapter of the IAAO recognizing Justin for that accomplishment. So Justin. The Mass Appraisal designation is pretty new with the International Association, and says Justin here is just only the 9th person internationally to be able to earn that designation. So we appreciate Justin. He's
Holy
a
cow.
pleasure to work with and brilliant appraiser. He's a certified general appraiser, and we're lucky to have him in the assessor's office.
Wow.
Picture.
Hey, get a picture.
Any or all of you. So 2 more. At the same banquet, Assessor School last month, Adele Murphy was recognized as the Outstanding Assessment Specialist in Personal Property. One of Adele's many responsibilities in the assessor's office is to manage our personal property program. And the state has been developing a new software where business owners can file their signed statement online. And we've been anxiously awaiting that to be developed. It's not yet complete, but there was a portion that was complete enough to be able to put this online for our business owners to use here in our county. Where some cautioned against using the software because it wasn't fully completed, Adele had the enthusiasm and the ambition to take this project and get it going and has led the way. And I think the comment she received is this, what we were able to do was great for business owners, some of the easiest. Maybe she could tell us what it was, but they had a great experience using the software, better than what they've used before. The software is being further developed, but Adele's been able to help implement. Well, she is the only person in the state that took this and got it implemented and has been helping in the further development of the software. So we want to recognize Adele, and she was, like I said, she was recognized through the IAAO, the local Utah chapter of the IAAO, as Outstanding Assessment Specialist for Personal Property 2024. You guys are going to get your 10,000 steps in? The chapter also recognized Ryan Hatch as the 2024 Outstanding Appraiser. Among the many things Ryan's worked on, one thing with his staff is developing a detailed review process, which has saved a lot of time and resources. One of our mandates in the state is to review 20% of the properties each year. So we use oblique imagery, but he's also helped with develop the process using our GIS system through our appraisal software to be able to speed up that process and save us some valuable time and resources. Ryan's recently been invited to attend the International Association's Conference on Assessment Administration to demonstrate the work that he's been doing in the assessor's office, and as well as the work that he's been doing for our local chapter. And want to recognize him again for receiving the Utah Chapter IAAO Outstanding Appraiser for 2024.
Nice. Entire assessor's office files out.
Yeah.
Back to work.
Thanks for coming and sharing those awards. You do have a great assessor's office. Our next item is our emergency service report from our Washington County Sheriff's Office.
So I'll try to make it quick because we've got a lot to go over between last year's and this year's. So we'll just start it off with November 27th through December 31st last year. We had 11 search and rescue calls in that time. 121 man hours, and that brought our total to 117 search and rescues this year. It's dropped a little bit this year because at the beginning of last year, Sheriff Brooksby decided to allow the bigger fire and rescue agencies inside their city limits to do those search and rescues. So compared to last year, we had 140. That drop is mostly due to that. We're about on par with what we would be before that.
So how does that work at Sand Hollow?
So Sand Hollow is technically most of the search and rescues there happen on Sand Mountain. Sand Mountain is outside of Hurricane City limits, so it's still our area. But we do work in conjunction with Hurricane Fire a lot on the mountain. So most of the time they're sending up some medics with us because they're able to respond faster than a lot of ours are.
Do you go there frequently? Or
Yeah, we have. I would say that's probably still one of the highest call volume areas that we have in the county as far as search and rescue.
If you've handed over, let's just say something to the lake, right? Because that'd be within their response area, right? The Sand Hollow Reservoir, do they submit a report to you? If you don't go out, do you know how many rescues they do?
We still see them come out and they're still accounted for, but we're not involved. They still request assistance on those occasionally, but if they want to handle it themselves and they have the capability to handle it themselves, Sheriff Brooksby is basically allowing those agencies to handle it.
I guess I'm going off the reporting. Do they report back to you so at least you know how many man hours and everything? Do you?
Not that I know of, no.
Looking for our other
All right.
discussions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. So out of those rescued subjects, 7 of them were from the county. 2 were out of the county but in Utah residents, and 2 were out of Utah. The first one was November 27th at 12:05. There was a side-by-side rollover on Sand Mountain. So search and rescue responded to that side-by-side rollover. It was near Top of the World on Sand Mountain. A male suffered a possible spinal injury and was unable to move. I believe it was a result of a side-by-side rollover. Life flight was requested due to the nature of his injury and possible spinal damage. He was located by search and rescue personnel in conjunction with Hurricane Valley Medical Unit. And then he was stabilized and loaded into the helicopter and transported via life flight. The second one was a stranded motorist on Lava Point in Kolob. That one, because it was on the road, we didn't page out search and rescue on it. Deputies went up and responded to that. So they responded to Lava Point near the Kolob area on a report of a male who'd gotten stuck in the snow and assisted with calling a tow truck and remained with him until he was safely out of the snow. After talking to the recovery vehicle that came there, we found out in the last 4 days he'd gone on a dozen in that exact same spot. So Zion sent a ranger up and evaluated it, and they ended up actually closing the access to Lava Point because of that. So from Kolob to Lava Point is now closed through the end of the year, or until they decide to open it up after the snow season. Third one was on December 10th. It was a stranded motorist in Babylon. So again, this one was on the main road, so we didn't bait out search and rescue, but deputies responded to Babylon. Reported a male who was stuck in his car and lost down by the river. They located the male and assisted him with backing up, getting out, and got him back to a safe spot, and then guided him back out of Babylon to the pavement. So pretty simple one. Next one was on December 14th. It was an injured mountain biker on Bear Claw Poppy Trail in the Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. So search and rescue responded to a report of a female wrecking her mountain bike near Clavicle Hill on Bear Claw Poppy Trail. The female had reportedly sustained a rib and collarbone injury, and life flight was requested due to the nature of her injuries. They were able to land nearby and treat the patient, and then search and rescue assisted with loading her up in life flight and transported her to the hospital, and she was transported to the hospital via life flight. The next was on December 16th. It was a lost motorist in Long Valley. Deputies responded to that one. They located the male with his GPS coordinates and then guided him back to the pavement. He was, I think, 1.5 miles from the pavement or so, but it was easy access with a truck. The next one was an injured hiker on the Scout Cave Trail in Snow Canyon. So search and rescue responded to that one. It was a female with a possible broken ankle on Scout's Trail. They responded to her location and then stabilized her ankle injury and ended up carrying her out back out to incident command, where she was loaded in an ambulance and transported to the hospital. The next one was on December 21st. It was an injured dirt biker in Warner Valley. The patient on that one sustained a suspected finger amputation as a result of a motorcycle accident. I believe him and another rider were racing and ended up crashing into each other. So deputies, in conjunction with Hurricane Valley Medical personnel, located the patient and then loaded him in an ambulance and got him transported to the hospital. The next one was December 22nd, the following day. It was a lost hiker on the Elephant Arch Trail in Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. So deputies responded to that. They drove to the GPS coordinates. Where he was lost was right next to a fire access road. So they were able to just drive down the fire access road, loaded him up, and gave him a ride back to his vehicle. Pretty simple one. Next one was on December 28th, and it was a stranded dirt biker on the Tocqueville Twister Trail, so up by Tocqueville Falls. And that one, the rider was exhausted, I guess, and just unable to continue. Medical personnel came out on that and life flight, and they made contact with the patient, and he wanted to be transported, so they loaded him in the helicopter and transported him to the hospital. On December 30th, we had an injured hiker on the Red Reef Trail in Red Cliffs Desert Reserve. It was a female hiker who'd fallen approximately 20 feet and sustained a suspected spinal injury and an ankle injury. Incident command was established at Red Cliffs Campground. UHP helicopter Star 9 was requested to assist with the call. It's a pretty tight area and we can't get life flight in there, so they were asked to come and assist with the hoist. Search and rescue members hiked to the location of the patient and evaluated and stabilized her injuries, and then she was hoisted back to incident command by Star 9, loaded in an ambulance and transported to the hospital. The last one for the year was on December 31st, and it was another side-by-side rollover on Sand Mountain. There was a report of a male who'd been involved in a side-by-side rollover. He had suspected injuries to his leg and arm. Search and rescue personnel, in conjunction with Hurricane Valley medical units, arrived at the accident location and stabilized the patient. Due to his injuries, life flight was requested and responded to the location of the patient, and then he was loaded in the helicopter and transported to the hospital. That's it for our end of year. The total statistics is on the following page there. So for end of year report, we had 117 incidents. We had 2,961 and a half man hours on calls. We had 3,382 training hours, and a total of those two of 6,343 and a half man hours for search and rescue personnel. In total, we rescued 53 county residents, 30 out-of-county residents that are from Utah, 58 that are out of state, and 7 international. So a total of 148 subjects. This year so far, we've had a total of 4 search and rescues. We've had 113 and a half man hours on those, and a total of 4 incidents. So 3 were in-county residents, and 3 lived out of Utah. The first one was on January 4th, and it was a lost hiker on Padre Canyon in Snow Canyon. Thank you. So that one, they responded to a report of a male hiker who was lost on Padre Canyon Trail. They were able to get his GPS coordinates from his phone. Calling in, were able to hike in and locate him, and then they guided him back to incident command without incident. The next was on January 17th, and it was an injured hiker at Scout Cave Trail on Snow Canyon. So they responded to Sand Mountain on a report of a rollover. The male patient had a suspected broken ankle. SAR personnel located the patient and stabilized the patient's injury, and then transported him back to Sand Hollow, where he was elected to self-transport. That particular incident was during the Jeep Jamboree, so it was a result of a Jeep rollover, I believe. January 18th, we had a lost hiker on Tuacahn Arch Trail at Snow Canyon. So it was getting dark. Person didn't think they'd be able to find their way back, so they called in. They responded to the hiker's GPS coordinates and were able to locate him, and then guided him back to incident command. The last one was on January 18th, and it was 2 lost hikers on Yant Flat Trail. And that one, they located the hikers, and guided them back to the trail. It was pretty straightforward one. So lots of lost hikers
Yeah.
recently,
Yeah.
but
Well, thanks
Any
so
questions?
much.
So,
Everything you do, really.
Mr. Chair, question?
thank you. Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're out there and a person on a mountain bike or a dirt bike, they're taken away with life flight.
Mhm.
Do you assist in getting their stuff? Because,
So a lot of times they're with a group.
yeah,
So
and
in
they'll
a-
do it.
In a situation where they're with a group, we try to get the group
Sure.
to get their property. In a situation where they aren't with a group, if it's within our means, if it's a mountain bike, for example, and they don't have somebody who can pick it up, we'll take the mountain bike and book it into our evidence, and then when they get out, they can come and retrieve it. So
Yeah,
it's
thanks for doing
not
that.
sitting there, so.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, appreciate you. Our next item is consideration of purchase requests. Ray?
Okay. The first couple are for the sheriff's office. This first one is for commissary items for the inmates. Hopefully prices don't go up and this lasts us the whole year, but this is estimated at $115,000. Next one is,
Is this, you say this is hopefully a year's?
yeah, that's estimated, yeah.
estimate? Okay, very good.
We'll see what happens around October. The next one is also a blanket purchase order for food items for the kitchen for the inmates. This is estimated for the year at $385,000. The next one is for the fair. This is for fair advertising with the Senior Saver Guide. This is $16,538. The next one is for tourism. This is for Visa Destinations Travel Insight. They supply information to us for our tourism office about where people are spending money and such. This is for $15,000. The next one is for our emergency services. This is fit test machines for protective masks and adapters and kits that go with that. And this is for a regional asset for the hazmat teams for $41,090. The next one is for, it's really for the whole county, but IT is requesting it. This is for a multi-factor authentication for cybersecurity. So when you're logging into your computer or a program, it would prompt you to get a text message or an email to authenticate that it's really you logging into that platform. Because our emergency services grants cover cybersecurity, we're working on seeing if there's any grants that help cover a portion of this. But for now, this is $24,681.10. And the final one is for Legacy Park. This is for stall mats to replace the current ones for $78,120. And unless there's any questions, that's it for this time.
Any questions, commissioners?
Straightforward.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the purchase request as submitted by Ray.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second on the purchase request. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
Thanks.
Item 6 is consideration of ordinance number 2025-1281, an ordinance amending Title 9 of the Washington County Code to add uniform provisions regarding dangerous buildings and make other miscellaneous revisions. Victoria.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. We are requesting an ordinance amending Title IX, Chapter 1. This is the building code ordinance of Washington County. Unfortunately, we're asking for changes to add 2 uniform codes for the abatement of dangerous buildings. Up until now, we haven't needed these codes, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, we may need to use these codes in the near future. The codes are the 1997 Uniform Code for the Abatement of Dangerous Buildings and the 2021 International Property Maintenance Code. We have sought the advice and counsel of our chief building official and our code enforcement officers and the Community Development Department as to which codes to adopt. These These uniform codes will allow us to do a couple of things in the future if we need to. If we have a building or a part of a building that is dangerous, and we're talking can't support life or health, or is dangerous to life or health, then we would use these codes to abate the danger. Dangerous is defined as so defective it is dangerous to the life, health, or property, or to the occupants or the public. For instance, a collapse danger or a system failure, like a sewer system or a septic system. The code change is very minor in 9-1-4. We're just adding the 2 uniform codes, and it gives us processes that protect the health and safety of the occupants as well as the public, but also provide due process provisions that protect the building owner and the occupants in that building. This code would be used only when the good leaders and volunteers and church groups in the area have failed to work with the occupants of the building, and the building is still dangerous and defective. We are not asking to adopt the appeal provisions in the uniform codes because we already have our own appeal procedures in Title 10, which we would like to use just so our appeal procedures are uniform throughout Title 9 and Title 10. And at the same time, we're fixing typos and doing any cleanup in Title 9, Chapter 1, like we do every time we draft anything in our code. So it would be our request that we adopt the changes and adopt the ordinance that's in your packet for changes to Title 9, Chapter 1 of our county ordinances. If you have any questions, I can give you more details.
We answered the question, my one question in your explanation, which is what type of due process do we have built in? Because obviously this is, this is pretty serious power when you talk about the government deciding when something's dangerous, but yet we all know that there are rare circumstances where health and safety of occupants or even neighborhoods are jeopardized, and so there has to be a decision made. So.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we didn't have this in our code. This is the first time we've had such a serious concern that we asked for its adoption. And it would be our hope that we would never have to use it, but we might have to use it in the very near future for a dangerous building where a septic system has failed and it's getting into a community water supply.
I don't have any questions, Mr. Chairman, so I will move that we approve ordinance number 2025-1281-0, an ordinance amending Title 9 of the Washington County Code to add uniform provisions regarding dangerous buildings and make other miscellaneous revisions, as explained by Victoria.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on item 6. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thanks, Victoria.
Motion passes.
Thank
Thank you, Victoria. Item 7 is consideration of resolution R-2025-3427, a resolution approving transfer of an agreement with Washington County from Macmillan, Inc. to Adaptive Environmental Planning, LLC, to complete the environmental impact statement on the Warner Draw Supplemental Watershed Plan for Goulds Wash drainage. Todd Edwards.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Commissioners. And this has been going on a long time. Back in 2018, we started this process. We hired Bowen Collins to do an environmental assessment at the time, which is expensive, but not as expensive as an environmental impact statement. But during the course of their work, they found out that the improvements were going to cost more than was allowed under an EA, so it changed to an EIS. And we hired Macmillan to do the EIS. They've been working on that for several years now. And they have done all of their work on it and haven't worked on the project for last year. They're just their sub-consultant has been working on it, which is Adaptive Environmental Planning. So we'd like to revise the contract and just work directly with AEP in order to get rid of the overhead all McMillan is doing right now is charging us to bill through their subcontractor, so. We're making progress on it. Hopefully we'll make a lot more progress
Yeah.
quicker.
We have had a lot of agenda items related to this, it seems like, so.
Yeah.
Any questions, commissioners?
I don't.
I'll move that we approve the item 7, the consideration of resolution number R 2025-3427. That's my motion.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second on item 7. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Todd, you're here for the next one as well, which is consideration of resolution R-2025-3428, a resolution approving an amended agreement between Washington County and Bowen Collins and Associates, Inc. for construction management and inspection services related to the Warner Draw Watershed Environmental Assessment Project and Phase 1 of Project 5, the Hurricane Irrigation Efficiency Sub-Project.
This was part of that same Warner Draw Watershed project back in 2018. This one is to the point where we are now constructing it. So that's a success. And this contract is for the inspection, construction management. It's for just slightly under $750,000. Project should go on pretty much throughout the rest of this year, and we'll tear up a lot of streets in Hurricane, but it should give us a nice project when we're done. So we're recommending that we approve this contract.
This will be a good project for Hurricane, no doubt.
Mr. Chairman, I move, with Todd's explanation, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3428, a resolution approving an amended agreement between Washington County and Bowen Collins for construction management and inspection services related to the Warner Draw Watershed Environmental Assessment Project and Phase 1 of Project 5, the Hurricane Irrigation Efficiency Sub-Project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on item 8. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes.
I also
Item-
move we shorten the, do I just get to, I'm just going to read the title from now on. When it's long, I'm just going the title.
Yeah. Item 9 is consideration of resolution R-2025-3429, a resolution appointing Jason West to the Habitat Conservation Advisory Committee. Cameron?
Good afternoon. As you guys know, the Habitat Conservation Advisory Committee advises the county in regards to implementation of our Habitat Conservation Plan and management of Red Cliff Desert Reserve. Formerly representing the Bureau of Land Management, Donna Ferris Rowley, she retired. And so Jason West, the local field manager, clap. Thank you. Jason West will be replacing Donna on the Habitat Conservation Advisory Committee. So.
Yes, it is a great day in Washington County. 2025 is going to be spectacular, I think.
The best year of all the years.
Best year of ever. So, yeah.
Well, gladly, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I wholeheartedly move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3429, appointing Jason West to the Habitat Conservation Advisory Committee.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on this most glorious item. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we vote twice?
I vote aye again.
Aye again.
Yes, I'd like to just keep passing that ordinance. Yes. Well, we wish her well in retirement. She should have retired a few years ago. Anyway, item 10 is consideration of resolution R-2025-3430, a resolution renewing an independent contract agreement between Washington County and Pop Rock Design for consulting and graphic design services. Sarah.
Greetings. We are indeed, it's time to renew this contract. We've worked with Pop Rock and specifically Crystal Tibbs, who heads that organization, since 2022, I believe, if not, I don't know, anyway. She has continued to make us look good. It totally gets our graphic design stuff. You've seen her things, everything from the annual report to our digital and more traditional ads. Working currently on a visitor guide. I want to continue that work. And all kinds of special projects. The entire staff has access to her for various projects. And again, keeping that consistent brand behind Greater Zion Tourism brand. So we're looking at just a 6-month term here for that contract, and we should be good to go for a little bit again.
I know you've been very happy with them, and the
Correct.
materials that you show us probably have their backing, or they're somehow they're in the mix.
Her fingerprints are on them for sure.
Exactly. Now, if you work for Pop Rock, do you have to be named Crystal?
I believe that is
That's a
mandatory.
requirement?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve resolution number R 2025-3430 as you read it into the minutes.
Very good. We have a motion.
I'll second it, but not the joke.
Not the joke.
I'll second the motion.
Oh, okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah, before you go too far, how many more of these do you get to present to us, Sarah?
I believe this is my last and final.
Well, then, thank you very much publicly
Yeah.
for your contributions, since you'll be leaving us and moving on to other endeavors. I don't want to say bigger and better, because that's impossible, but other endeavors, and wish you well, and thank you for everything you've done for the economic driver of tourism in our county.
That means a lot. Thank you, and thank you
Second.
for the support you've shown me in all of that too. It's been a great opportunity. Thanks.
Oh, we'll miss you.
Best of luck.
It's going to be good to, I'm glad you're not going too far. I feel like we'll see each other often, so thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Item 11 is consideration of resolution R-2025-3431, a resolution approving a design and engineering service agreement for the Zion Corridor Trail and Confluence Park. Chad?
Actually, Commissioners,
Oh, is this Devin?
yeah, I'm happy to present this one,
Yes.
Commissioners. This is an agreement with Horrocks Engineering. This is a really exciting project. I know the county's been working really hard on this Zion Corridor Trail, which connects Laverican all the way to Springdale. This would be a part of that, but this agreement relates only to Confluence Park. And so this is a designer agreement. Horrocks will present several design options for where that trail is going to be sited in Confluence Park, and then some other trails as well. This agreement requires design in accordance with our regional trails standards that MPO puts out. It requires a kickoff meeting, and we're going to have regular meetings with our team at the county in the design of these trails. Total cost is $64,650, and that's the agreement that you have before you, Commissioners.
Very good. Thank you very much, Devin. This is an important project.
It is. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve resolution R 2025-3431, approving a design and engineering services agreement for the Zion Corridor Trail in Confluence Park.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. We're on to item 12, which is consideration of resolution R-2025-3432, a resolution approving the expenditures of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement for Copper Rock Championship events. Chad?
So recently, the Tourism Tax Advisory Board voted to approve funding for a marketing agreement with the Copper Rock Golf Course for 2 events, the Copper Rock Championship, the LPGA Epson, which is the week of May 15th through the 17th. The LPGA Epson is the ladies that golf just below the pro level. There is a lot of professionals and amateurs who are trying to earn their pro card for the next following year. So that event is in its 5th year out at Copper Rock. And then the other part of that event is the second week right after that one is the LPGA Epson or LPGA Senior Championship, which they call it the Legends Championship. These are the ladies who have who've gone out of the pros, but they're all from the pros, the Epson Tour. So they've all, this is the second time it's ever been in Utah, where last year was the first time. We were able to beat out Oregon and in Atlanta for this event to be held here again. It probably won't be here for a few years, but because of the work and the community involvement within these 2 events, they asked to host it out there one more time. So as you know, May in Washington County will have 3 level of LPGA events with the Epson, the Legends, and the professionals who will be out at the Black Desert also the whole
How do
week
the
of May.
weekends line up?
So the first week will be April 28th through May 3rd will be the LPGA at Black Desert. The next week will be Ironman. The week after will be the Epson, and the week after will be the Senior Championship.
The senior championship out there at Copper Rock is a major for that event, so the purse is a little over $400,000 for that particular event. So those are the two events. The amount for this resolution is $100,000.
Any questions, commissioners?
Sounds good.
Chad, are these events, especially with Epson, has it been growing consistently?
Yeah, I mean, they've been growing year after year. The Epson has got a contract with Copper Rock through 2028. The economic impact has been growing. Last year it was around 1.9 on the ground and about 2.8 in media value. We place a lot of ads on the Golf Channel during this event that air during other events that are have a higher profile major event. So we're getting growth out there. The golf numbers and everything are growing, and so that's kind of what we're looking at is the growth of golf in Washington County overall. And last year we were at about 150 million in economic impact. This year I'm still working the numbers, but we're looking like we're right around 180. So 170, somewhere in there. I'm still waiting for a couple more golf courses to report their numbers.
Oh, very good.
Nice.
Well, commissioners?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-34-32, approving the expenditure of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement for the Copper Rock Championship events.
And I will second that motion. We have a motion and a second on item 12. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Item 13 is consideration of resolution number R-20-25-3433, a resolution approving the expenditures of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement with GRO Promotions LLC for the True Grit event. Chad?
So this resolution is also one that the Tax Advisory Board had approved the recommendation for funding of $10,000 to go to the GRO Promotions for the True Grit Epic event, which has got about 800 endurance mountain bike racers that will be here in March. This event is a 3-day event that you can enter into either stage races for 3 days or the 50-mile mountain bike or just one of the other gravel race that they also have. So this brings in about 800 racers, hopefully around 1,000, but the goal is 800 this year. They're right on course. For that, they were about 90% full a couple weeks ago when I talked to them. So this event has been going on for about 15 years. We're trying to grow it just a little bit more. That's why we're putting some marketing dollars towards this event as far as getting the footage and some more social media and some other videos out there promoting mountain bike in Washington County.
Very good.
Excellent. Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consideration of resolution number R 2025-3433, a resolution approving the expenditure of TRT funding for an event marketing agreement with GRO Promotions LLC for the True Grit event.
Chad, where are those 800 cyclists coming from? Are they generally here, in-state, regional?
They are regional. A lot of them are coming from out of the area, out of state. I don't think I have it with me. Out of the 800, I can tell you here real quick. I would say 3/4 of them are coming from out of the area to stay here. I know when I did it a couple years ago before I moved down here, I came in from out of the area and I stayed for the 3 days and competed. There is projected, if non-local with the visitors and the athletes, about 950 of those will be from out of the area.
And where do they race at?
They'll race out in Santa Clara and they kind of go out in that west area, the desert out there. Okay. And I'm still waiting for their final route. And so once she starts, submits that for the permit process through the the community development, we'll look at her actual route.
All right, then I second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Item 14 is consideration of resolution R-2025-3434, resolution approving an interlocal cooperation agreement between Washington County, Utah County, and the State of Utah Department of Natural Resources, Division of State Parks, DSP, in which DSP agrees to provide support to the county in hosting the Ironman 70.3 North American Championship, St. George, Utah, on May 10th, 2025. Chad?
So this is an interlocal agreement between the DNR and the DSP for the use of Sand Hollow State Park for the swim portion of the Ironman and Snow Canyon State Park, which is for the bike portion of the Ironman 70.3 event that will happen on May 10th. We do this interlocal agreement each year so that they close the park, and we rent the two facilities for the day. And then they provide the resources and staffing and law enforcement, and then we cover those costs of that extra staffing and law enforcement of closing the parks for those 2 days. And as you know, that's what makes this one of the best courses in the world, is because of those two state parks, and we're lucky to have them work with us on this event.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3434.
Very good.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Thank you. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3435, a resolution approving a purchase for digital marketing targeting the meeting planner industry. Joy, it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joy.
Good afternoon. This is a request for digital advertising with the Meeting Planners International website with a retargeting campaign. MPI is a well-respected organization for meeting planners and industry professionals. They have over 70 chapters and clubs. The advertising is $10,005 for 1 year from the start date, and there is a means to target specific dates, track the effectiveness of the ad, and capture some contact information. The production for the ad is free, and the ad can be changed during the year if necessary. There is also 250,000 guaranteed impressions or ad deliveries that come along with this package.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, thank you. Anything with the name international, I think we should consider.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve Resolution 2025-3435, a resolution approving a purchase for digital marketing targeting the meeting planner industry.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Our next item is consideration of Resolution R-2025-3436, a resolution approving amendments to the Trail House Agreement for additional trails in the Cliff Rose Trails System, formerly Spring Hollow. I didn't know we changed the name.
It's true, Commissioners.
I thought somebody was supposed to consult with me, but frankly, I don't know that there's any spring up there, and it's not really a hollow, so.
I think there's some famous trails called Dark Hollow. I think it was hard for people to keep those straight. So this is a little more unique, a little distinct. Commissioners, this is an amendment to an existing agreement that we have with Trail House. They've been doing a good job. This is a project that's being constructed in 3 phases. They've been acting as the construction manager on the first few phases, and this amendment would have them extend out to finish the project out for the remaining phases. They would also help with some of the design on the last phase as well. And so some of that expertise that they have in management, they're going to help with the design side on that last phase. Total amendment amount would be $32,225.
Very good. Any comments or discussions, Commissioners?
No, this is a great,
Something we've been working on for a while.
yeah, great mountain bike system.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's all done, this is going to be world-class mountain biking. And as we've said before, always happy to see the Forest Service actually doing something proactive. So this is a good one, although it did take the county to help. Then, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve Resolution R 2025-3436.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Our next item is item 17, consideration of Resolution R-2025-3437, a resolution approving the Washington County Fair Director to execute agreements for the fair on behalf of Washington County. Devin, is this?
This one's mine as well.
Yes, please.
Our great fair director is working tirelessly to get ready for our 2025 fair, and as she does that, she's presented with a lot of small agreements or vendor contracts to get that done. And so this would allow her, as she processes those, she wouldn't have to wait for a commission meeting. She can go ahead and execute those as long as she runs it through the county attorney's office and through the county administrator.
Yeah, totally agree.
Very good. I like that. Checks and balances.
Mr. Chair? Yes. Move that we approve consideration of resolution number R 2025-3437.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Our next item is consideration of resolution R-2025-3438, a resolution appointing a member to the Southwest Utah Board of Health. Gil?
Well, this has been one of my favorite assignments, and although sad, I happily know that they'll be in good hands and that Commissioner Iverson will enjoy that. So I move that we approve consideration of resolution number R 2025-3438.
And I will second that.
We have a motion and a second, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. And that would be me that would be taking that. Big
Yeah.
Travis.
Appointing you for this year.
Yes, can I all give myself a round of applause?
Like to thank yourself?
I'd like to thank myself. Okay, I understand on item 19, were we planning to discuss that tonight or to table that?
So I would request that the commission tables this one. It was premature to go on, so if the commission would table it to the next meeting, that would be appreciated.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we table agenda item number 19 and move to the next meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to table item 19. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We're now on to item 20, which is consideration of resolution R-2025-3440, a resolution approving a cooperative agreement for UDOT's improvements to the Hurricane LaVerkin Bridge. Devin?
Thanks, Commissioners. This probably looks familiar to you. I think this was about a month ago. You approved a letter of support to UDOT on some improvements to the Hurricane LaVerkin Bridge. UDOT staff took that letter of support and got funding through the state board on this, and so funding has been provided for the state, or through the state. This agreement would solidify or memorialize the county's contribution of $30,000 for this project.
When are they getting underway?
I don't have a timeline.
Yeah, I'm not really expecting you to know. You're not the
Yeah.
contractor, but
I will tell you, as somebody who drives on that bridge, they have been out there recently, like in the last few days. It was my understanding that first things were they were going to do some kind of just observation, engineering on the bridge. And so I assume that's what they're doing
Yeah.
right now. And then I would imagine they'll have a contractor right after that, so.
well, I move that we approve consideration of resolution number R 2025-3440, resolution approving a cooperative agreement with UDOT improvements to the Hurricane LaVerkin Bridge.
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you very much. Our next item is consideration of resolution R-2025-3441, a resolution approving a production agreement with Utah Tech Creative Studios. Devin?
Commissioners, this is a proposal from Utah Tech, the Creative Studios. They are proposing to prepare a video, it's about 2 minutes, on the Northern Corridor project. And it's an amazing story. It's been fascinating for me. I joined the county 3 years ago now, and just to hear about some of the work that people have done, how long the Northern Corridor has been in the works, and our transportation planning, and what not only the county, but several of our local partners, what they've gone through to make the Northern Corridor possible. And so it's an amazing story. It needs to be told. This is a proposal to tell that story. County cost would be $2,000.
What I also like about this is that, this is in conjunction with Utah Tech, students, they're going to have great professors helping them, but it's kind of two birds with one stone. So it gives the students great experience as well as getting valuable information out to our residents. So,
Jim, I'm just going to, in full disclosure, as you both already know, but my brother is a professor at the university and does do work with Utah Tech Creative Studios with some of the students there in his official capacity. He doesn't make any money from this. It has nothing to do with the condition of his employment, but just to be completely distanced from it, I'll be recusing myself on this agenda item.
Well, then I want to make note that this will be an excellent piece that they are putting together for 2 minutes. And recently, the Panama Canal has been in the news, and we've been at this for 10, maybe longer years. Much longer. The Panama Canal was built in 11 years. So we have waited long enough for a 2 mile or whatever long road. It's kind of ridiculous, but hey, we'll keep pushing for this. So I moved.
Panama Canal was built when we used to do cool stuff, though. Then the bureaucrats ruined it. We couldn't build the Panama Canal today.
True.
And we even have a mosquito abatement program, so we could build even faster, because we wouldn't have to.
Faster, not so many deaths. I move that we approve consideration of resolution number R 2025-3441.
Very good, and I will second that motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. Our next item is item 22, which is consideration of resolution R-2025-3442, a resolution approving a creative services agreement with Sam Payne. And I have Commissioner Adam Snow to speak to this.
Yeah, I'm going to take this resolution is just a fairly straightforward. Sam Payne, but for the backstory, as you both know, but for the general public, for our America 250 celebration, we are doing it right. We're trying to have the biggest birthday party for America that the world has ever seen, and we're going to be at the pointy end of the spear on this. As part of that, we contracted with Sam Payne, or the point of this resolution is to contract with Sam Payne to create an original pageant that tells the story of the revolution, the shot heard around the world, what went into all of that, and being a patriot in revolutionary America. And this will be, the purpose of this is be shown at the county fair, which happens to fall perfectly on the 250th anniversary of Paul Revere's ride and the shot heard around the world. And so this is an original work. Sam Payne is very well known in this world, does a lot of work with the Osmonds and others, and he just loved the project and wants to help us out in what we're trying to accomplish with this. And so that's the purpose of this agreement, and I would move that we approve resolution R 2025-3442 for that reason.
Hardly second.
Well, very good. I'm excited about it. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes. Very good. We do have Lee Greenwood and Lone Star coming as well. And Nathan Pacheco.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a great thing. Everybody needs to get their tickets early, because this, hopefully, if we have patriots in this county, this will sell out very quickly.
Yeah, very good. And item 23 is consideration of resolution R-2025-3443, a resolution appointing board members to the RAP Tax Advisory Board. And I have Devin now.
Yes, Commissioners, the county receives RAP tax revenues, and so under our ordinances, we have an advisory board that advises the county with respect to the expenditures on cultural organizations. And so it's an important board in the county. There are 7 members of that board, and 3 of those members' terms expired recently at the end of 2024. And the names that are before you for appointment to fill those vacancies are Glenn Webb, Trevor Sanders, and Cheryl Snow.
Very good.
Mr. Chair, I can say that it was fun to not only interview the applicants, but to have faith in our local artists and their experience. And it was a difficult decision, although Cheryl, it was obviously, you're well connected to the community, and we, especially in these fields, and we know that that's an important avenue to have on the board as a member. So I'm happy to move for approval of resolution number R 2025-3443, appointing members to the RAP Advisory Board, Glenn Webb, Trevor Sanders, and Cheryl Snow. Their terms expiring December 31st at midnight. You'll want to be here. 2028.
That was funny.
And I will second that motion. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes, yes. with that, we conclude our meeting. I'd like to remind everyone that these meetings are rebroadcast daily on TDS cable channels 22 and 108, and that is at the time of 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5:30 p.m. And they're also available on YouTube Community Education Channel.
Mr. Chairman, before you gavel this closed, we did make a post, but I would just like the public to remember and please pray for moisture, for rain and snow in our mountains, and to pray and fast whatever God and religion you may choose to do so, but we need whatever help we can get right now. We are very, very dry. The rest of the state, you don't hear it in the news very much because the rest of the state's actually doing really well, or about normal. We are almost about to set a record for being the driest winter so far.
You know, Commissioner Snell and Commissioner Iverson, we put out this plea because it's been done before by many, many organizations, and we did get one negative response asking for the division of church and state. However, we've just witnessed the inauguration in which there were many prayers offered and that hands were placed on the Bible. I find that interesting that division of church and state was not meant for the state to have an organized single religion. That was the intent. So people have misused that statement. But on a positive note, it was great to see that our faith here amongst our citizens will be applied to this cause.
Well, I'd just like to echo those comments. I grew up watching a film put out by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Windows of Heaven. And I feel like that farmer in that movie, that was looking at his dry field, everything seems to be blowing away this year. But yeah. I do know that we have a good God who does provide, and even non-believers drink water. I'd encourage them to meditate on it at least, give it good thoughts. And with that, we will stand adjourned. So,
thank you.